Okay, let's begin. Yes, there is almost one more friend. I have already made you understand this. He is escaped Hana softly, and that is why he is a wounded. In the back, Sadav agreed, and Sadav agreed and he says that he is a escaped person. He has absconded. He ran away from the attack. Right. So in the back, Sadav agreed. In the bag, Sadav, they hesitate looking at each other, the Hana said with resolution. They decided to throw this wounded American man into the sea, but they were not able to do it and they were looking at each other. Couple, they both were wife and husband, they were looking at each other. Come, are you able to put him back into the sea? Let's see. If I am able, are you? Sadav said, if I am able, will you be able to help me to throw this man into the sea once again? No, Hana said, no, I will not do it. I am not able to do it. But if you can do it alone, you throw it all alone, I will not be able to do it. Sadav hesitated again. The strange thing is, he said that if the man were whole, I could turn him over to the police without difficulty. I can nothing for him. He is my enemy. All Americans are my enemy. He is only a common fellow. You see how police is faces, but since he is wounded. Now, he says that if he would be perfect man, if he would be fine, then I would sure hand him over to the police, being a pure Japanese person, being a pure lover of my country, being a pure patriot of my country. But now his professional ethics come on the way, right? That stop him, that become an obstacle for him to hand over this man to the army. And his duty, his ethical duty, being a doctor, reminded him that he is an enemy, but first he is a human being. So his ethical duty, his ethics or his ethical duty come into his mind to save the life of this man. That's it. And he is only common fellow. You see how foolish his face. But since he is a wounded man, he should be rescued. He should be helped. Being a human being and being a doctor, right? Let's see. You also cannot throw him back into the sea. Hana said, then there is only one thing to do. We must carry him into the sea. They both had a dialogue with each other, and they came to the conclusion that neither of them were able to throw these men into the sea. And they decided that they had only one option to carry this fellow into the house. We must carry him into the house, but the servant, if we carry this man, we had servants who are working in our house, they are pure Japanese. They would object, and if they would object, and if they would leakage, or if they would spread this matter other place, then there can be a very bad consequences. Question. We must simply tell them that we intend to give him to the police as indeed we must allow. As indeed we must allow. So there was a confusion with keeping in mind the servants who were working. So they decided that we will tell them the reality that we want to hand over this wounded American escaped prisoner to the police or to the army. But just now he is a wounded. So he should be, being a doctor, he should be rescued, he should be helped to save the life. Then after, once he become very fine, he would hand over to the police. So this was the decision decided by Dr. Sadav and his wife. We must think of the children and your position. It would endanger all of us if we did not give this man over as a prisoner of war. Yeah, there was one there can be a case of traitor for giving shelter to enemy inside our house, and if somebody would come to know, then there can be their entire life and the entire future can get spoiled, as well as the future of children. Certainly, sir, I would not think of doing anything else. That's that was they were aware of the consequences of their action. But see, thus entering together they lifted the man. He was very light, like a fowl. Fowl means bird that had been half starved for a long time until it is only feathers and skeleton. This fellow was a very thin. He became very thin, very skeleton, because he must not have eaten for many days, and he is an absconded person. He is a escaped prisoner. So he became very thin. He had very light weight, like a bird, like a skeleton. So his arms hanging, they carried him up to the step and to the side door of the house. So he was carried. He was carried by by couple, wife and husband. This door opened into a passage, and down the passage they carried the man towards the empty bedroom. So he was taken to the bedroom inside the house. It had been the bedroom of Sadau's father. This bedroom was used by Sadau's father, who was no more. He is no more now. He passed away. And since his death, it had not been used. So it was a very close room. It was not used. It was used by his father. Since the death of his father, it was just closed only. It had been closed. They laid the man on the deeply matted floor. They put that wounded man on deeply matted floor. Everything here had been Japanese to please the old man, who would never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Now see the love for the country. Dr. Sadao's father was that much patriotic person, that much lover of Japan, that he would not even, whatever materials or items or things were there inside his room, belongs to only Japan. He even did not like to use any items or thing or material that belongs to any other country. Just imagine the love or the loyalty towards their country. And everything, whatever items were there inside the house of Dr. Sadao, or in particular in the house, in the room of Dr. Sadao's father, was only from Japan. They laid the man on the deeply matted floor. Everything here had been Japanese to please the old man, who would never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Hana went to the wall, cupboard, and slipped back a door and took out soft pills. She just went to the cupboard, took the quilt blanket in order to spread it or in order to cover. She hesitated. The quilt was covered with flowers. It was so beautiful quilt. It was, how was that quilt? The quilt was covered with flower silk and the lining was pure white silk. What was the appearance of that quilt? He saw that he murmured in distress. And she was shouting, saying that he is so dirty, man. Yes, he had better be washed. He had better be washed. Sadao agreed. Yes, he must have that much mud on his body as he was there lying on the beach. And if you will fetch hot water, I will wash him. He asked his wife, he drew the attention of his wife that you just go and bring hot water, I will wash with my own hands. I cannot bear for you to touch him, she said. No, I will not allow you to touch him, and I cannot bear it that my husband is touching the body of enemy. We shall have to tell the servant he is here. We will inform servant, why should we wash him? We will inform servant, they will wash him. I will tell Yumi now, she can leave the children for a minute and she can wash him. So there was one servant who was there working. There are many servants are there inside the house. One of them was Yumi. So she gave her suggestion that we would tell to Yumi, she would help us to wash the body of this man. So now consider a moment. Let it be so. He agreed. You tell Yumi and I will tell the others. They both agreed. It's okay, fine, as per your wish. But the utter pallor means very pale, not having that much brightness or not that much live face, pale face, pink color face, pallor. But the utter pallor of the man's unconsciousness face moved him first to stoop and feel his pulse. When he saw the pale face of this man, when Dr. Sadao, when he just examined, when he saw the pale face of this man, then he suddenly stooped in order to check the pulse whether he is alive or dead. Moving first to stoop means to bend. To feel his pulse, it was faint, but it was there. It was very faint pulse. The beating of pulse was very low, right? It was ebbing slowly. He put his hand against the man's skull. It was faint, but it was there. It was beating. It was beating very slowly, but he was alive. He put his hand against the man's skull breast. The heart was yet alive, and he was alive. He will die unless he is operated on, Sadao says. If I would not do operation, he would sure die. Consider. The question is whether he will not die anyway. Anna cried out in fear, don't try to save him, what if he should leave? Because they were there in a state of confusion. Overall, he was an enemy, but they were not able to decide what to do. Ultimately, they decided to save the life of this man. Then after they had a conclusion that we would hand over this enemy to the police or army. So what he was saying, the question is whether he will not die anyway. He will die unless he is operated. So consider the question is whether he will die. He will not die anyway. Anna cried out in fear. Don't try to say him. What if he should leave? He is not from our country. Whether he is dead or alive, we have nothing to do with him. What if he should die? Sadao replied. He stood gazing. Gazing means to stare, to look at one side. Down on the motionless man, he was just gazing, he was just looking at this man. This man must have extraordinary vitality or he would have been dead by now. He had a very strong stamina. If he would not have that much vitality, that much strength, he would have died, he would have succumbed to death. But then he was very young, perhaps not yet 25. They drew the conclusion that he must be around 25. He was very young looking man. You will die from the operation? Hannah asked. You will die of operation? Yes, Hannah said, there is a possibility he might die. Hannah considered this doubtfully. When she did not answer, Sadao turned away, and at any rate something must be done with him, he said. And first he must be washed. He went quickly out of the room and Hannah came behind him. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there. Here he was her enemy, a menace, living or dead. So he was Hannah was also there in America, right? And she also had seen white people. But since the day she left America, she didn't wish or she didn't see any American fellow. Hannah considered this doubtful, and when she did not answer, Sadao turned away. At any rate, something must be done with him, he said. And first he must be washed. So they came to the conclusion that he must be washed first. He went quickly out of the room, and Hannah came behind him. The wife was helping her husband to save the life of that wounded man. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. Yes, she didn't like to be left all alone with that white man. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there. Here he was her enemy, menace, nuisance. Menace means nuisance, living or dead. He is a nuisance for us because his presence can put them into dangerous situation. She turned to the nursery and called Yumi. Nursery means the place where child is being looked after, room. She drew the attention of Yumi. We will discuss the rest of the lesson from here. Alright. In the next video.